Okay, everyone, it's just about 6:31, so we see people logging on, so we're going to give it just a couple of seconds. But welcome to the last of the Red Dress Campaign webinars for the summer. We promised you if you were on any part of the Red Dress Campaign, whether it was from January to April, right up to the end, where we had the fashion show, or you did the 8-week phase 2, or you did both, that was great. We promised you some webinars for the summer just to kind of keep you accountable. So we did, Robin did one on the 1st of July, which is on Life Simple 7 for heart health. I did one on 7:15 in the middle of a rainstorm. It was crazy. In the background, I was in my office watching the sheets of rain come down. That was on snacking and good, better, best proteins and carbs, and some tips for struggling with snacking and what to do when you had a little homework on that. So I hope you took that into account and start to ask yourself what were the reasons that you were reaching for food if you felt like you were out of control. Again, 3 reasons why we eat. If you take a look at those two webinars that we did before, 7.1, 7.15, if you did not get those webinars or you weren't able to be on the webinars, just give me a quick email and I'll shoot you the link so you can hear those quick 30-minute webinars that we did a couple of weeks ago. But tonight we've got a special guest, Bridget, here, our spin captain and one of our group fitness directors. She's going to be talking about exercise. So we did heart health, we did a food topic, and now we're going to talk about an exercise topic. So tonight may be something that some of you have heard before, the 3 states of existence and why they're important to weight loss, because so many of us are really interested in weight loss. So tonight's topic talks about where you want to work out, what zones you want to work out and why, how you should feel, what devices and tools are most important to achieve those states, and how you can get there. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the mic over to Bridget. She's going to talk about today's topic, the 3 states of existence. So welcome, Bridget.
Hi, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
Can you
tonight.
Hopefully you can all see the screen too. So let's go full screen view for 1 minute. Hang on, everybody. Whoops. I just saw it. Oops. View. Here we go. Okay. All right. So. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I know many of you have heard us speak of this topic beforehand, depending on either if you were in a class or a small group, large group, skinny jeans, many of the programs that we've worked on. But it's a very important one, I think, and it's a teaching tool for everyone. And our 3 states of existence are very simple: rest, aerobic, and anaerobic. To keep that even more simpler, if you have your heart rate monitor, your resting state should be at 64% or less. Your aerobic state should be between 65 and 83. And your anaerobic state is upward of that of 84 to 92%. These are 3 very important ranges that we need to learn where our bodies best function. I feel, depending on your goals, the aerobic state is one that you should know what your body feels like at all times in that state. Why? It's going to bring you success in no matter what type of fitness activity you do. And it all starts with your maximum heart rate. And how do we find that? What does heart rate maximum mean? Well, you take 226 and minus your age. So if you're 54, it's 226 minus 54. That 3-digit number, is your heart rate max. From there, you can calculate where the other states of your 3 states of existence are. That's your top goal number. That's where you learn from. You're going to work down. Many of you, hopefully all of you that are listening, have your heart rate monitor that you wear either all day long, just for your typical daily routine, or in your fitness classes. You have 2 settings that you can use to monitor those states. You have a beats per minute setting and a heart rate percent. Where are you in a percent of your heart rate maximum? Depending on what you prefer, you can set either one of those. Both are dependent upon your age, which you calculate right into your watch. I like the percentage. I think it's easier to read, quicker, and it gives you a little bit quicker assessment to of where you are. Because if we're spinning, I'm just going to go back to that. You know how our rides are run, either aerobic, anaerobic, strength. You know where you need to be and in what range. So if we're riding, you look down, you see you're at 92%, and this is a, say, strength or endurance ride. You know I need to bring that heart rate down. Most important though is to know what your body feels at, like in each range. So that's something that takes some time, and you have to keep reassessing. Don't think that if it's a number one day, it will be the next. That doesn't happen. There are many other variables that we can get into that will affect that. Sleep, food intake, weather, many different things. So we have to really always be conscious and aware of that.
Okay, I'm going to cut in for 1 minute and just make sure that you guys understand. The reason why we talk about beats per minute versus heart rate view is because I know a lot of you have the Fitbits right now. So, excuse me. So I'm not sure, and some of you have to cut in and let us know. I'm not sure if the Fitbits have a heart rate percent view or it's just the beats per minute. I got a feeling it's beats per minute. So, and they're so popular now. So we want to make sure you understand, if you're seeing those beats per minute, what that means. So, in other words, we go back to that first slide a minute ago. So if you're looking at, you're walking around outside and you look down at your Fitbit and it says 154, you want to understand what those 2 to 3 digits mean. Or, you put your Fitbit on when you get up in the morning and it says 86. Well, what does that mean? So that's why we took some time to make sure you understood the two different views. Okay. Oops, there we go. Okay. So Bridget leads into what each of these actually mean. So.
Well, your resting heart rate is when you're pretty much at rest, sitting, and your heart rate is under 65%. There's your resting state. And you probably don't, once you get to know what your heart rate monitor does and looks like and what it does for you, you're going to realize that you're not in that state as much as you think you are. Movement is important. You're going to see that heart rate rise, and you're going to say, wow, this is where I am. So it's a learning tool. It's a process as well. You need to use it and use it for a while. Get to know your heart rate monitor and let your heart rate monitor get to know you. 2 states, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic is my favorite state. It's where you want to be. It's 65 to 83% on your heart rate monitor. Why is it my favorite state? Well, depending on your goals, again, it's where you pull your most energy from. It's your large gas tank. Your fuel comes from stored fats and the breakdown of the carbs that you have eaten and that are within your body. What type of activity is aerobic? Well, you determine that. You can make any class aerobic, depending on your goals. Again, if you're looking into weight loss goals, I would highly consider Stay Aerobic, and it's called aerobic-based training. Stay aerobic in any fitness class that you do your best, and you will form a base. Your body makes that foundation for your house to be built on. Where are you going to go from there? Your goals are going to change, or they may stay the same. If you're continuing to want to lose weight, build your aerobic base, get your body strong enough to take it up to a higher level. Aerobic base building. Stay there for about 6 weeks, no matter what class you're doing. It's difficult, but the effects, the ending effects are just tremendous. Then there's the anaerobic state, and that's when we leave that 83 to 84% and head up. Our heart rates are starting to climb. We start to open mouth breathe. We can no longer breathe freely from your nose. You're starting to dig in now. That's where you're pulling from your smaller gas tank, meaning your energy from the phosphates in your body, your ATP stores, are coming from there. Your energy is coming from your muscles. So the lactate buildup, it can occur from the rapid breakdown of glycogen in your muscles, like when you hit the wall. when you start, I'm just going to give you an example. How about when you do a step class? Okay, say 20 minutes in, you cannot go on. You need a rest. You need to get off the step, find your breath, get a drink. You are by far, I would bet, in the anaerobic state.
The first time you stand.
Yes,
Yeah.
standing and spinning. As soon as you take your body off that bike, you're going to get to the anaerobic state very quickly. Anything that's a HIIT class, you could also do that. Any quick and powerful movements, high-level cardio, arms overhead, and Zumba, you're going to get to an anaerobic state. So there are any fitness class, really, you can get yourself there. Is that where you want to be at all times in your classes? Absolutely not. You want to learn how to take your body from an aerobic state to anaerobic state and still be successful and want to come back. What does each zone feel like? What does your body feel like when you're working in the aerobic state? Well, it can be relaxed. If you're on a spin bike, you should be able to chat with your neighbor. And this is the zone, or this is the area or heart rate that you can work out for a longer period of time. You might want to take a bar class. Your heart rate is going to definitely increase in bar, but it will be easier to keep it aerobic. You might not be sweating as much as you were if you were in a high energy spin, a high energy Zumba, step, Vive. But once you reach around 80%, when you're starting to get to that upper end aerobic zone, you're going to start to sweat. However, you are going to feel in total control, and you are going to have the ability to continue on in your workout. You should not feel like you want to stop. You should be able to keep going. Breath is nice and steady. You should be able to nose breathe in and out very comfortably. Anaerobic, when you start to leave that aerobic zone, that's when the breathing starts to get hard. That's when we start to climb and spin. When we're out in third and we're really pushing. You need to open your mouth to start breathing again. The sweat starts to really kick in here. And this is where, again, you may hit the wall and say, I can't stay at this percent. I need to come down, get back into that aerobic state, find myself, assess where I am, and pick it up again. And the reason why you want to train in an aerobic state is to increase how long you can stay there when you start to push. Build your foundation. This is what I tell my spinners. Build your foundation. Use some great bricks. Then you can build a house. You can't put the sticks first on sand. It's not going to work. Build your foundation. Get yourself in a great aerobic state. Then start to pile your sticks up. Then you can stay in that anaerobic state a bit longer. Train for it. Give yourself a minute or two more in each fitness class. What are the benefits? So why do you need to stay in aerobic? Don't you want to go to the gym and just sweat for the whole 60 minutes and come out and say, oh my God, I just lost 10 pounds. Not going to happen. And you know what's going to happen the next day? You're going to say, I'm never going back to that class again because I can't walk or breathe.
Too tired.
I'm too tired. That was horrible. I'm just going to sit on the couch and have another bag of potato chips. That was easier. Unfortunately, many of us, that happens to. Why you need to train, or why you need to keep your body in that aerobic state, or teach your body how to train in an aerobic state. What are the benefits? They're multiple. The main ones. You increase your cardiovascular fitness. So, okay, you do like 3 weeks of step class and you keep your heart rate in that aerobic state. I will bet you on the 4th week, if you go out to take a walk, you are going to feel great. You are going to be able to walk maybe a half a mile to a mile more and still feel strong. Remember, you're building the foundation. Aerobic state lowers your blood pressure. Why? You're just putting your internal systems, getting them into a state of prime utilization. You're getting them to work the best they can. You're going to decrease your risk of stroke. You're going to promote weight loss. Why? Because you're pulling from the big tank. You're pulling from the fat stores. You're not heading up into that anaerobic zone and pulling your ATP stores out of your muscles. That is not going to get you your weight loss in a beneficial way, meaning long term. Yeah, okay, you might be able to lose a couple of pounds, but guess what? When you come back next week and you're in recovery, you say, I'm just going to do the Nautilus machines this week.
Your recovery time is longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just aerobic state improves your overall endurance and movement, your everyday functions, what you do during the course of your day. In your home, outside your home, with your children, with your spouse, your partner. It increases your ability to move and move with ease.
Let's face it, if you don't, and we see so many people who are first timers to the gym or a fitness experience, group fitness class, and let's face it, if you bring yourself to the very edge emotionally and physically and in sweating and you're exhausted after every class, after a while you're just not going to want to do that. So your ability and desire to actually even want to do a workout decreases. So
Right.
Because you just get there and you go, oh, I can't do this again tonight. Or it's too hot, I don't want to get hot again. So
Yep.
So you want to stay aerobic just to be, promote endurance overall, long-term fitness, long-term. Okay, as Bridget said, unfortunately, most people, they come to the gym for the first time and they jump into a class and they try to follow. They stand up on their spin bike. They, dance like a crazy woman. They jump into step because that's the only thing they've ever seen since 1982. So, and they just get too high too quick. They get too exhausted. The recovery time is too long, and they go back to the couch. Exactly, just like Bridget said, the glass of wine and the chips is just too enticing rather than trying to work out a steady state, a lower state to start.
Your body doesn't want it either. It doesn't want to be shocked like that every time you move it. It's telling you to stop, really. When you get to that point when you want to just collapse on the floor, your body is saying, enough of this. I've had enough of this. Stop. Bring me down. Get me moving in an easier state. Movement, no matter how you move, you're burning calories. You do not have to be anaerobic in every workout. Train yourself to get there for little bits of time.
That's another thing too. I'm going to break in on Bridget for 1 minute. People think, especially once we put those Fitbits or heart rate monitors on you, they're wonderful tools for measuring your progress, but people tend sometimes just to look at calorie burn as the only measure of how great a workout was. Oh, I burned 750 calories in that workout, and the other work I only burned 350. Well, that's not always the most important thing, because granted, the anaerobic workouts are the ones where you do tend to burn more calories, but with the caveat, you need more recovery time. If you're an anaerobic, that's like running a road race every day. Now, let's think about that, folks. Would you go out and run a road race every day? Would you do that? I mean, if I told you, well, today we're going to run a 5K, and tomorrow we're going to run a 10K, and tomorrow next day we're going to run 5K again, you'd be exhausted. So you can't do every day at maximum effort. You have to periodize your workout. I'm just going to talk about that in a minute. So with that said, don't be so consumed with the calorie burn versus another calorie burn in whatever class from day to day. Just think about a steady state, steady stream, and wanting more. Leave your body wanting more. That's the key. And of course, we actually just talked about this. So, so what happens? You fatigue so much, you get discouraged, and you actually work against what you're trying to do. Your adenosine triphosphate, if you went to ATP stores, you only have so many in your muscles. If you watch the Tour de France over the last, early part of July, it's a 21-day race, you see that, riders, some of them that's it. They just literally crash, not literally, but figuratively. So, you're looking at a peak where you really need to stay steady state so that you're using your fat storage for the ability to move, not the finite amount of adenosine triphosphate that you have in your muscles that helps you move at higher states of anaerobic. So, okay, so we still see people logging on, so that's great. Welcome, Monica. I see my cousin is coming on. So, okay, so which zone should you exercise in?
Okay. And I'm sure many of us ask ourselves that when we, look at ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, I've got to lose weight. So I have got to get to the gym 7 days a week, 5 times a day, and burn all kinds of calories. That is probably going to be the most difficult in your body. What you need to do is periodization, which is Again, just another fancy word for training in one area for a long time. Aerobic base building as well. Depending on your goals, this is what we would recommend. 3 cardio workouts a week. Pick them. Have fun with them. Don't stick to something you don't enjoy. You know what's going to happen? You're never going to come back. If you like Zumba, you like step, do it. Do what makes you smile and makes you feel good. However, when you are doing them, wear your heart rate monitor. Keep yourself in that aerobic state between 65 and 82%. And sometimes it's very difficult. And you know what? You don't want to bring yourself down in your heart rate because automatically we think, I can't because I'm not going to burn enough calories. And then, I'm not going to lose enough weight this week. So I have to keep dying and sweating my brains out so I can lose weight. Wrong. It's a wrong way to look at things. It's a wrong way to look at fitness in general. Keep yourself at a steady rate. It's a really simple analogy as far as just driving a car. Don't you get better the more you do it? You feel more comfortable. You get out, start on the country roads, driving along at a certain speed. Okay, I'm getting more comfortable. I think I'm going to take a highway drive. Get out on the highway. I'm doing all right. Maybe I can pick up my speed limit a little bit. Maybe I pick up mine too much sometimes. No. But it's really a simple method of just understanding how your body works. That aerobic base, that aerobic zone is huge. It's going to build, again, I hate to say it, but build that house. When you can do 3 workouts a week, when you do 3 classes, whatever they may be, 3 cardios, and you feel comfortable leaving, you feel good, you feel your body feels like you got a great workout, mentally you feel well, emotionally, spiritually, like that was great. I'm going to go home, I'm going to enjoy my night, I'm going to do what I need to do, and tomorrow I'll reassess on what kind of a workout or what kind of a day I'm going to have. When you can do 3, then add a 4th. And that 3, do it for a while, and again, periodize. Keep yourself in a steady state of aerobic activity. That period is going to allow you to bring yourself to a higher rate. I promise.
And be patient with
Yes,
it too. I know
it's hard.
We've done 4 to 8 weeks of aerobic base training, and it really does take 4 to 8 weeks. And during that time, you don't want to get aerobic at all. I know that's hard because you start feeling better, and all of a sudden you do want to jump into aerobic. So you want to all of a sudden take it up high, but we highly recommend that you stay steady. Now, it doesn't mean, this is a whole other lecture, that your anaerobic threshold, your AT, may not rise. That's what we want. So you want to get to the point where the 3-digit number or the percentage on your heart rate monitor at which you start open mouth breathing should get higher. So in other words, let me say, said another way, if you start out and do 3 or 4 spin classes a week, you may be open mouth breathing at 75% early on. But a couple of weeks later, you may be open mouth breathing at 80%. So in other words, you can get yourself to a higher state and be in control. And that's what we want. So aerobic versus anaerobic, we know that you have a great aerobic base, which is what you want, when it takes you a while to come up in your heart rate and you come down in your heart rate quick at the end of a workout. So those are the 2 states you really want to shoot for at all times. You want to, again, let me say that again, when you start a step class or a Zumba class, you want to take a while to come up. You shouldn't shoot right up as soon as you get on the bike or shoot right up as soon as you start dancing. And your heart rate is so high, and then at the end of the class, it takes you so long to come down. You don't want that. That's aerobic. That's not good aerobic fitness. That means, you haven't been doing things for a while. You're not aerobically fit. And that's not a good state to be in over time. So that's why we say.
Just a good example, exactly, is when we first started the spinning program, I remember doing a ride called 80. And it was a ride where we stayed at 80% for about, I'd say a good 20, 25 minutes. Well, we all thought we were going to die. We could not make it up the stairs. We were crawling. People were sweating, crying. I could never do this again. This was horrible. Now, if you went up to any one of the spinners in that class, 80 is probably their baseline.
Right.
That's where they start and work up from there. They warm up, get to 80, and depending on our ride, whether it's aerobic or anaerobic, that's their baseline. That's where they start to increase their heart rate. Now, and they're at a point where they can train at 92 and feel and open mouth breathe, working hard, but feel okay. That's your goal. That's where you want to get to.
Sustain that
Yep.
anaerobic for longer periods. So
Yes.
eventually, with great aerobic base training, just like with the Tour de France, and that's what they're training, or running workouts, you're training at aerobic state to be able to be in anaerobic state longer once you start doing things like that. Once you start doing road races, or hey gang, I'm going to take a minute to shamelessly plug the Heart Challenge too on October 3rd. So whoever's out there, please join us for this very family-friendly obstacle course race. And it's only, I believe, 3 miles, right? That's a 5K?
Yes.
Yeah, Robin said. So please join us. If you don't have that, if you didn't get my email earlier in the week, I think I sent it Sunday night, just, again, shoot me an email, kmac67@aol.com, or stop by me at the club, and I will resend that to you. Or check your email spam box. It said something like, did it say Heart Challenge?
Yeah.
We're almost there, I think was the title of it. We're almost there because it's one of our last fundraisers for the year for the American Heart Association. So, of course, everything's tied to everything. We're talking about aerobic states and improving our heart and cardio capacity. So that's the topic for tonight. So please, please, please join us on October 3rd. It's a Saturday. We'll probably leave from the parking lot at Barbell. With carpools, it's in Canton, Mass. And I believe we have the 10:45 start time. The race actually is $75 to register, but that ends Friday. Then it goes up to $85 for the rest of the summer until the day of event on October 30th. October 3rd, rather. So, jump in if you're at all interested. Jump in and register off that website. It's the Heart Challenge off the American Heart Association website, but I can send you the link anyway. So, gang, we thank you so much. One last thing I wanted to add, though, to what Bridget was saying, and that's don't forget that weight training can also be aerobic training. People think of aerobics as cardio all the time, but if you've done body pump, or the tube portion of Vive, Body Vive, even flow to some degree, some of the poses you're moving into, will bring you into the high 70s, maybe low 80s. I can tell you right now, when I teach, or even our participant in body pump class, when I'm doing the clean and press of track 4, the back track, man, I can get aerobic almost on that track, right?
Oh, yeah, I can. Oh, yeah.
So, don't count that out either. We always think of aerobics as Jane Fonda, and we're jumping around, and we're doing dance aerobics, and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing wrong with that, but don't count out your weight training as so important into those states as well.
And just you're increasing muscle, which will in turn burn more calories. I know we've said that 100 times, but so true. Yep. And most important for women, because we don't do it enough, and we lose muscle mass much more quickly as we age. So get into those strength training, into those weight resistant classes as often as you can. Sometimes I burn more in pump than I do in
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. People always think, people come to the gym and they always think, oh, I'm going to do steps, I got to lose weight. We always say, why can't you weight lift? Oh, I'm going to put weight on. No, you're not. Movement is movement, ladies. So, and if there are any gentlemen out there. But,
enjoy what you do. Right. Move and smile at all times.
Exactly. Ladies, do we have any questions out there? I see a few of you on. Don't be afraid to raise your hand if you want to ask us anything. So, all right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. It's been about a half hour, and we're so happy that, those of you that were able to join us. If for some reason you know of people who weren't able to join us tonight, just, let me know, and I'll send the link out anyway. Probably later on tonight, you'll have the link to all 3 webinars, the one that Robin did on July 1st, the one I did on July 15th, and then, of course, tonight. So this is being recorded right now. So we hope you enjoyed us, ladies. Again, for some of you, this might have been a little bit of a review. If it wasn't, great. If it was, hey, you always, learn something every time, you hear something that you've heard before. I know I always do. So, all right, well, ladies, have a great evening. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And again, we wish you a great night. And actually, one last thing, look for more webinars as we bring Women's Health and Nutrition, our WIN, we call it, to an online webinar format in September. So that will be part of the Plus membership, as it has always been. So those of you on a Plus membership at the club can log into our weekly webinars. And they'll be on all different types of topics. So look for that for probably a mid-September start. Robin and I are working on that right now. But I thank Bridget tonight for jumping in. She was our special guest. And we'll be hearing from Tracy probably be the first up in September. So God knows that will be always a fun Fun night. All right, ladies, have a great night. If there aren't any questions, thanks for joining us.
Bye, ladies.
Take care.